All right, what's up, guys? How's it going? So, in today's video, gonna be the main topic, the encompassing theme is they want you to fail. So, um, you know, I've had people in my past who I no longer talk to, and it's like, hey, I wish them all the best, but it's like, it's not conducive to my self-improvement, self-development, growth, potential, all that stuff, because when I'm on my deathbed, I don't want to regret not having gone after and reached my full potential. So having like a chip on your shoulder is great in certain instances. For example, it can give you that mental edge, but it can't provide the purpose. You have to have a purpose behind it. For me, it is getting up every day, improving, becoming 1% better every day, stacking those compounding wins, making van life work, and we're about 200 days into it, like I said on the previous video, and it's going pretty well. Like I said, next Tuesday we're getting these windows tinted. We use these window covers. The other side's black, so you can like switch them either way. I just like the black side out, but the silver side apparently is more reflective, or more blocks out more of the sun's rays. Anyway, so it can provide an edge, but not the purpose. So, write that down. What is it for you? And it can be a lot of things, and it depends. Like, are you building a business, YouTube channel, working on your fitness? There's different things, and they can all intertwine. Like, it doesn't have to be just one thing. Just like working on the self-improvement, self-development pillars of health, wealth, mindset, skills, relationships. All those are combined to facilitate a life that's worth living and that you enjoy, and that's not just like, oh well, it's another day, 9 to 5, this sucks, it's like, use the 9 to 5 as fuel to build the 24/7 to whether that's starting a business or a YouTube channel or a TikTok. Just get started, right? That's all you got to do. You just got to get started. It's not going to be perfect. And I've had tons of naysayers in my life and armchair critics, and that's okay. There's people out there that get it, and there's people out there that don't get it. I don't have to sit there and argue with that. That's the problem. In the past, I would just sit there and argue with them. What does that do? First of all, waste my time. So waste your time. It takes up mental bandwidth that you could be using to just prove yourself right, which proves them wrong as a byproduct. People like Nick Bear, he's one of the YouTubers I watch, and proving people wrong is never why he does these races and stuff and everything. These marathons, these ultras, these Ironman triathlons, everything. It's he's self-powered. He'll and he has a podcast as well. But you got to find what is your mental edge, what is your mission in life, and relentlessly go towards it, right? Sorry if the audio is a little I'm using the built-in microphone, and I do have an external mic somewhere. I think it's in my laptop bag or my backpack, or if not, I'll just pick up another one off of Amazon or wherever. So the audio quality will increase, so don't worry there. But yeah, I mean, if examples, there's friends I've had, and when you're in high school, you don't really know, like, because a lot of people want you to do good but not better than them. They'll sandbag your success. They'll say, oh, you're never gonna make it, but because you being average and playing small makes them feel better. So it's like, you got to just keep those people at arm's length or further, and hey, if they want to watch the journey and stuff, that's cool, that's fine. I have true, real supporters in my life, including you guys, obviously, if you're tuning into this video and supporting the channel and the brand and all that. I've been with my current girlfriend for over a year. Very, there's mutual respect, mutual support. So that's great. And then there's certain family who I don't talk to anymore, and it's like, I wish them all the best. It's not like I didn't try to get along with them, but like, they want you to play small and be average, and I get it. My like my grandparents and great uncle, they're in their 70s, and it's like they grew up in a different era, a different time. That's just the facts. The truth can't be argued or debated. The truth just simply is. It just simply exists. So, but they want you to, or me, whatever, to get a 9 to 5 to work till I'm 65, whatever, retire, and then maybe live another 10 years, 11, 12, whatever the life expectancy is in 2020. It's around 77, whatever. But it can be longer depending on if you take care of yourself, you don't have a lot of stress, or you handle stress well, I should say. You're intentional with your choices, your fitness, your nutrition, your recovery, your sleep, all the above, your quality of life, because there's lifespan and there's health span. It's like, yeah, cool, some smokers can live till they're 90, 95. First of all, they're probably the outliers. Second of all, how is their health span the last 10, 20 years of their life? Did they get lung cancer or something like that? I don't want to live like that. So I'm going to be proactive as possible to facilitate the life that I want to live, and to be intentional with my choices, and not just be in the co-pilot or the passenger seat. You got to be in the driver's seat of your life. It's like getting in an Uber and you don't know where you're going or what you're doing. If it's just some random Uber that takes you, you could end up in a different state for all you know, a day later or whatever. So yeah, it's planning out each day, really, and getting better is not a hack or a trick. It's a campaign of self-discipline, and every day putting in the work, making it happen. So like right now, I figure, what are different ways I can improve and everything, my fitness, the YouTube channel, all that stuff. Anyway, going back to the family real quick. Yeah, it's like I moved out. I had moved out before. I think I gone over this in a podcast previously, or a video, whatever. But I'm 28 now. I had moved out in 2022. Actually, no, 2017. I had moved out for a couple of years, year or two, and then moved back. At that point, I was like 21, 22. I didn't know too much about van life. Hadn't really researched it. Which is what it is. I know, better late than never. But 2022, got an apartment with an ex. I don't want to go into too many details, but it didn't work out for various reasons, and that's fine. You got to live and learn. You got to build wisdom through experience, and then refine your approach, refine your focus, and go from there. I could have stayed at home longer, probably would have saved more money than getting an apartment that was overpriced and having a job that didn't give enough hours, but that's, water under the bridge or water over the dam, whichever it is. I've heard my great uncle said one or the other, and one of them was like, not the correct term or whatever, but whatever, Anyway, so that was 2022. 2023, I lived in my truck that I, have fixed up and put a lot into. And the truck, don't worry, it's parked at my friend's house. It's safe. The only thing it needs at this point is a new battery, really. Everything else has been pretty much replaced or rebuilt for the most part. I mean, not the engine. The engine's good. The transmission was rebuilt when I bought it. After I bought it, funniest story, I kind of rushed into getting a truck. I wanted a truck, and I was tired of car payments and stuff. So I had traded that vehicle in, or given it back to, first of all, I'm never going to go through Carvana, or pretty much hardly any dealership. I mean, depending on my cash flow and how much I'm making, but like both my vehicles are paid off. My girlfriend's vehicle is paid off. And yeah, so I was in the truck for a few months, right? And, that was fun. It was a little isolating because at that point I was single, wasn't with the girlfriend yet. This was pre me using, ChatGPT and stuff, and having more systems and procedures down as far as my self-discipline and making it happen. After that, I lived with one of my friends for like a month or two, whatever. Then I moved in with another chick that I was dating, and that was great. Like a lot of relationships are great in the beginning. Unlike my current one's been good for, the whole over a year we've been together. But moved out of there. Again, I don't want to go into details or too much negative stuff. We can in the future. If you want me to do a deep dive in another video, we can do that. But I don't like focusing on the past. I'll learn from it. I'll use it. I'll refine my focus, refine my approach, and improve to build the life that I want to live. But, you know, going back and reliving it, it's not, other than teaching you guys and from my own experience and everything, that it's good to learn from others as well, for sure. Because, you know, I'm not, never claimed that I'm perfect, you know, but I show up all the time and willing to learn and put in the work. So that's what it's about. But after that, moved back in with, before that I was at the grandparents, but moved back in with the great uncle for a little bit. Actually, the current girlfriend, shortly after moving out of that old apartment, like a month and a half later, summer solstice actually of 2024. But yeah, you know, living at first of all, the grandparents were fine. Didn't want to live there because my uncle still lives there at 46, is what it is. And then my great uncle, you know, just, I don't want to be around armchair critics and armchair quarterbacks and naysayers. It's like, you know, one minute they're supporting you, another minute they're like, you know, they're like, that's not going to work. You're wasting your time, blah, blah, blah. It's like, if that's your mindset, don't start a YouTube channel. Don't start a business. You know, you're not going to see that ROI, return on investment, for a little while, because you gotta buy in. You gotta put in the work before you start seeing the returns. So, and again, they're in their 70s, so I wouldn't expect them to get it. But even people my own age, you know, some of them, they're just haters, and that's okay. You know, my life goes on. They don't pay my bills, and yeah, I mean, I have supporters, and that's what it's all about. But we lived there until December, of course, and I went over that in the previous video. December was when the engine of this van was rebuilt, and we've been doing van life. We were at our friend's house for a little bit, just to hang out and get things situated and in order. So that was cool, and yeah. Other than that brings us up to current date. For the most part, I probably left out a few things. Again, I don't have notes written down, going off the cuff here, but yeah, don't want this video to go on too long. We're already at the 12-minute mark, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I will see you guys in the next video. You know, as always, keep on trucking and put in the work, make it happen. I do have Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, and Zelle if you guys would like to donate to the channel. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.